Live from Sin City, it's the Socks and Pinstripes Podcast. And now, here's the star of the show, Diet Dr. Griffin!
This is Diet Dr. Griffin, back from Japan to give you the lowdown on everything that happened there and all of the news that just magically seemed to break like hours after we record. So, how are you doing, Shane?
I am doing well, Griffin.
You were telling me that you had a very interesting bus ride. I think the audience will want to hear this one.
Oh yeah, I had probably. I want to at least give her a little credit. She's a newer bus driver, but what is normally a 15-minute ride on Friday night because no one rides the bus on Friday turned out to be a full bus and hour-long bus ride. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
So you like the reverse speed bus, you can't go above 25 miles an hour, or the bus will explode.
And then the bus behind, so here's what was most confusing about it is the bus behind us lapped us. So for most of the time on the way to my apartment, we were not picking anyone up, but still somehow managed to take twice as long. So,
Wow. Okay. Very, very interesting.
But Griffin, I hear that the metro system in Japan works much more efficiently.
Pretty much everything in Japan runs more efficiently, not just the rail system over there. The
Yeah, turns out when you have a culture of people who take pride in being respectful to one another, that stuff gets done.
well,
So,
that stuff is like ingrained into kids. I mean, they are taught to leave the room that they're in cleaner than when they got there, which is
I
definitely
mean,
not
I was taught
bylaws.
that. I mean, my brother and I were taught that too, and only one of us adheres to it. So,
Is that you or the other one?
yeah, what do you think, Griffin?
I think it's you, actually. I think you seem like a obsessively neat person.
Yeah, you're correct. I thought that would be obvious, but I guess we don't know each other that well. So,
Yeah, we've only actually like met a couple times.
yeah, that's true.
Maybe like under 5 times.
Yeah,
And
that's also I
usually,
keep forgetting that because we talk a
usually,
lot more, and I feel like I know a lot about you, but.
yeah. Well, the thing is, going to Japan is just it's a unique experience. I feel like it's going like 5 to 10 years into the future every time I go there.
And then this was not your first time, right?
No, no, I have been. This is my fourth trip to Japan, although
Nice.
I have not been to Japan since 2019.
Oh, okay. So
So
pre-pandemic, right?
pre-pandemic, yeah,
Yeah.
and I had wanted to come back for years, and just certain other things got in the way, instability, and timing
Yeah.
wasn't right to go overseas. And then during some of that, Japanese were also very restrictive about tourism for a couple of years after COVID. I don't think that they let people back in really till like 2023, I think.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing about they had some of the most restrictive travel policies to the country as a non-citizen. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But believe me, it is worth the trip. I am jet lagged as all heck right now, so if I don't sound as good or as clear as usual or rambly, well, that's to blame. I've been up since it's about 7:30 Pacific time here. I've pretty much been up since 3 in the morning Pacific time.
Yeah. You
So
crossed the international date line too, so.
yes, yes. When I left Japan at noon on Thursday and I landed in Los Angeles coming home at 6 in the morning on Thursday.
Nice. I can't even imagine. I've only ever flown the opposite direction, so I can't even. Oh, I guess we went to Hawaii when I was a kid, but that doesn't really count. So I've only ever flown the opposite direction as an adult, is what I'm trying to say. So
Yeah, it is a long flight too. Going to Japan was about 11 and a half hours from Los Angeles, and I still have to fly from out of Vegas, so at least another couple hours at the airport before that.
Yeah.
and you get super long layovers too on these
Okay.
international trips. They
Well,
give
then
you
I'm going to feel extremely excited when I go because Alaska Airlines just added a direct flight to Tokyo from Seattle. So,
yeah, and doesn't I believe doesn't Alaska Airlines now own Hawaiian Airlines?
and that is the reason why they offer a direct flight to Tokyo.
Ah, there you go. There you
Yep.
go.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I've flown out of either San Francisco or Los Angeles every time I've gone to Japan.
Well, it makes sense. Like from Vegas, I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
that's your going to be your closest port of entry, unless you're somewhere else. So,
yeah. But going to Japan was amazing. Baseball is extremely popular over in Japan. I saw I didn't take a single photo of anyone, but I saw numerous Shohei Ohtani ads hawking all these different products.
that's awesome.
I
That's
think
so
the
awesome.
first one was like a watch, but then there were other ones where
It's
he,
got to be like the Patrick Mahomes of America, right? Just anything. So,
yeah, I mean, he had his New Balance stuff, but he had like foods and other things and just everything under the sun. Shohei was there. I did see a couple of Yamamoto ads,
ooh,
though.
let's go, Yamamoto.
Yeah, maybe I thought I saw a Rohei Sasaki one, but I don't know for sure because
Yeah,
I don't really recognize him him by photo
yeah,
compared to Yamamoto.
yeah.
I mean, obviously,
Any Hideki Matsui stuff or Ichiro?
I didn't see any Ichiro stuff there.
Hmm, okay, because he
Shohei
just
is
got inducted to the Hall of Fame, so I know he's like an older player, but he does every year also
it
pitch in that. Like,
was
yeah.
it was all Ichiro on the earlier trips, though.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah,
So I think Shohei kind of took that mantle over
gotcha.
from Ichiro now that
Yeah, that makes sense
he's
because he
ruling
does
the
all
world.
the like retired circuit in Japan now. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And
Oh,
honestly, he deserves it. So
yeah.
what is the guy
Ichiro's the
gonna do?
best.
Work forever? Yeah.
Ichiro is
I mean,
great.
speaking from a Mariners point of view, they trot Ichiro out into the outfield every start of the season, and we're like, well, at least I get to see Ichiro because now we're just gonna punt on everything. So
Now, I sent you some photos and some pictures and stuff, photos, videos, and all that stuff of some of the experiences at the game because I went to a Japanese baseball game while I was there.
yeah,
I
and
went
it
to
looks
see the
wonderful.
Hanshin Tigers.
Oh, that's actually a pretty popular team too.
They're one of the more famous squads.
Yeah.
They have the oldest baseball stadium in Japan,
Ooh, I
which
did not know that.
was from 1936.
Okay.
And like Babe Ruth was here at one point doing
Oh,
a
is this when the American All Stars played the Japanese All Stars? Is this the stadium?
probably,
Okay.
yeah. And
It,
you know, they have a
it's so
statue of
symmetrical too.
yeah. And the thing is like it has an I had the ivy like at Wrigley, but it's on the outside of the stadium, not on the inside.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if you can tell from the photos, but the entire infield is in dirt.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah, out of the corner.
Yeah, that's different. That's a different thing that I've seen in Japanese baseball. I don't remember if it's just that stadium that has it. I
Oh,
don't know if
okay.
I'll have to look at some of the photos I have because I did go to the Tokyo Dome for a previous trip, and then I also went out to Chiba to see a team there. Now, one
Okay.
thing that's interesting about Japan's baseball squads is that they're owned by the corporations,
Yeah,
not so
I was
much
reading
like
about
the
that.
individual owners in America.
Yeah.
It'd be like if Bob Kraft, it's the Bob Kraft Patriots or whatever his company name is, like Kraft
Yeah.
Industries Patriots or the Kraft
Yeah.
Patriots, something like that. It wouldn't be like where it's located. Although in many instances the teams are kind of like that. The Chiba
Yeah.
Lotte
Most
Marines,
of them rep the prefectures that they're from. So
yeah. But Hanshin is a company out in Japan. It's the Electric Railway Company.
Hmm.
So they make some of the lines that go from Tokyo and from actually that in Osaka and Kobe,
Okay.
which is where they're located.
Yeah, I wish we were funding rail travel more than completely dismantling it like we're doing now. So,
Well, it's interesting because they talk about trying to do this high-speed bullet train between Vegas and Los Angeles. They've been talking about it for like 25 years, and they always get money approved for it, but then it ends up costing so much because the people are putting the money in their pockets and they're like, "Hey, we need more money. There's no money anymore."
yeah.
While they're going out and buying Rolls Royces and
Yeah,
dressing up as Batman.
or the previous president, approves a bunch of stuff for Amtrak, and then the next president thinks the previous president is an idiot, so then he disapproves all of it. So
Yeah, but
it's got to be hard for railways. So
it's like that with both ways
yeah,
though. But no,
yeah.
let's get back to baseball. Now, one of the kind of more interesting elements about baseball in Japan is that the crowds are very team oriented. You'll see like a visitor section, which is typically left field in most stadiums, and then right field where all the home teams are.
Okay.
So I sent you some old footage that I took from a previous game where you saw the other, you see the home team doing their chanting and they got flags and all this stuff. The team
Yeah,
where
it
I
it
was
honestly reminded me of a European football game, honestly.
has a lot of the college football vibes to it too, with how loud it gets
That's
and
pretty cool.
and one thing they'll do is like as they get right up to the pitch, they'll start like waving their hands and
I
go,
love that.
as
I'm not gonna know like the exact team, but there's a team in college, men's baseball. I want to say it's like in Louisiana. It's not the Tigers, um, but it's down south somewhere. And if the pitcher walks someone, they start counting the balls that they throw.
you think it's like
So
Vanderbilt?
yeah, something like that. And there's
Because the
like they'll
Vanderbilt's got a pretty big program down there.
yeah, so they'll get up to like, I was watching this one guy, this poor guy. So he walks the guy in four straight pitches, and then the next batter comes up and the fans start chanting five, five, five. And he throws like a fifth ball and it went all the way up to 12. I felt so bad for the guy. He like walked three people in a row.
Wait, was this the home team trying to cheer the guy on, or this kind of heckling the
It's the
opponent?
home team psyching out the opposing pitcher every
Okay.
time he throws a ball. And if he throws more than three balls in a row, they start chanting how many balls he's thrown.
So I was with the opposing team. So the opposing team's standing up every single time their team's at bat, and they're doing all of these chants, and they got these say they'll say stuff like "get hito" to get a hit,
Yeah,
and they'll chant like the names of the players, and they're different for like every player and every team.
yeah.
But you want to guess what player was on the opposing team that was getting like one of the louder chants? I'll give you a clue. He has been known for gift baskets.
Ooh, I don't know if that's enough of a clue for me. Is it Trevor Bauer? Please say it's Trevor
No,
Bauer.
I wish I could have gotten to see Trevor Bauer, but I was in the wrong part of the country for that.
Yeah,
I did end up getting Taylor a Trevor Bauer jersey.
yeah.
Hope she likes when I get to see her
He
next.
better appreciate it because he should be playing in the United States right now. I love his
Yeah.
antics. He also is the pitcher who does the samurai sword when he strikes someone out. So
Yes, and I think they asked him to stop doing that, but then his teammates thought it was offensive.
hmm.
But
But knowing Trevor Bauer, he
I think he
probably
still does
still
it
does
now
it
though.
anyway.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure he does. No, the
Sword.
player was Jeter Downs.
Jeter Downs. Okay.
Jeter Downs, the famous prospect who was widely considered like the most important piece of the Mookie Betts trade, is
Really?
now
And he's
batting
just
eighth in Japan.
eighth in Nippon baseball. All right.
And
All
here's the
right.
crazy thing: he got an RBI double. A
I
two
mean, as long as
R,
he's doing well, let's go. So,
yeah. So he ended up getting a two RBI double, and I gotta be honest, I did not stay till the entire end of the game because the weather in Japan at the moment when I was there was
mhm.
awful.
Oh, dude, in answer to your question earlier, it might be one of the only stadiums with an all dirt infield because I'm looking at another previous picture that you sent, and
Yeah.
it's like completely different in the opposite way in where there's only dirt around the bases.
Yeah, I think that's a Tokyo Dome that I sent
Yeah.
this footage. But yeah, the weather there was like 90 plus degrees during the day with 70% humidity.
Ooh, man.
It
Did
is
you did you bring your
awful.
sunscreen shirts or what?
Yeah, and I didn't bring enough of them. I felt like
Okay,
I had to
gotcha.
take multiple showers a day because of how sweaty I got.
So even though I hate the heat, I actually I surprise myself by how well I do in it. And I will just like sweat it out and just sit in it and just shower once a day. Like when my brother and I went to Belize, we both did the same thing. I mean, I guess so. I guess it's a little bit different because you're inland Japan and we were literally on the Atlantic Ocean. So anytime we felt gross, we just jumped in the ocean, which is a different kind of gross feeling when you've gone all day swimming in the ocean and not showered. But I can respect the fact of like feeling disgusting and needing to shower a ton. So,
Yeah. And you often get stuck in trains in Japan with people, like sardines, just all kind of squished and smashed
oh,
together.
okay. So I've seen on the internet that they have train packers. Like that's a job where they push people onto the train. Is that true?
I have seen the footage of that. I did not see anything like that happening in person, although there are plenty of situations where they might have been there. I think that's like a
Yeah.
strictly rush hour thing
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
in
That makes sense.
particular.
So, yeah.
And I think it's only like at certain stations, like maybe like Shinjuku Station, which is like one
Gotcha.
of the busiest in all of Japan.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's a lot of people. So,
So another unusual element about Japanese baseball is that you can get beer basically from a keg brought to you instead of having to
okay.
go get a beer.
Please explain this.
Okay, so you see the photo of the lady walking up the staircase.
She has a beer keg on her
She
back.
has a beer keg on her back.
Oh, that is not what I expected from that. So,
Yeah. So there are these scantily, well, no, I wouldn't say they're scantily clad, but they're pretty women,
mhm.
and they're all wearing, different outfits because different outfits is how they distinguish different beers. You're not stuck with like one brand of beer in
Oh,
Japan. Like
that's
all
actually
of the
pretty cool. Yeah.
companies, pretty much all the companies of beer can sell to different beer, and the women are all wearing different outfits to represent the
Yeah.
different companies.
And for our listeners, not scantily clad, but definitely wearing like a skirty dress.
It's
So,
kind of like a lot of times they're kind of like the uniforms that they wore in A League of Their Own.
yes.
They
Yeah,
kind of have
exactly.
that
Yeah.
that vibe to them. Although the one,
But not as high. I would say even lower than that. So,
well, yeah, Japan's got a weird thing with cosplay and all that stuff. But that's
which I'm
100.
wholeheartedly for, by the way. So,
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that after the show because I get kind of grossed out by that actually.
okay, you and I would be completely different. So,
Yeah. Well, I'll have to. Yeah, we'll have to talk about that later.
yeah, no, I have a ton of questions. So after the show, for sure.
Okay, yeah, because we got a lot of baseball stuff to talk about here. Because
Yeah.
the Red Sox made the trade of the year so far. trading Rafael Devers to the San Francisco Giants.
Which honestly wasn't the most surprising part about the trade for me. So,
The team that they went to?
what's up?
The team that they went to?
No, the fact that he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll do anything for the Giants to win." I was like, "Since when have you ever been that player?" So,
I mean, well, Rafi's won. Rafi was on a World Series winning team.
yeah,
I mean, he's done his thing. I think some of the situation got overblown, and
yeah,
neither party handled it well. And
yeah.
if the Red Sox had actually gotten more interviews, they might not have hired this guy who bungled the relationship between the team and Rafi, and this guy
Yeah,
being Craig
I
Breslow.
mean, I guess when you put it that way, you're totally right. But it just seemed like, especially this year with his like refusal to play DH and then playing DH and then refusal to play first, then all of a sudden he's in San Francisco and he's like, "Yeah, I'll play first base if that helps the team." I'm like, okay.
He just said he wouldn't play first base for the Red Sox, not that
Yeah,
he wouldn't play
yeah,
first base.
I'm learning that that's exactly what he meant. So,
Yeah. So I'm gonna read you a list of names, and if I pronunciate some of them, then I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, so Mike Hazen, Emil Sade, Brandon Gomes, Sam Fluid, Derek Falvere, Michael Hill, John Daniels, Rachel Ferrara, James Click, and Kim Ang. What are these guys and gals names have to do with anything baseball related?
Gouts for the Red Sox.
They are the 10 candidates that declined to be interviewed by the Red
Oh,
Sox for the currently held VP of Baseball Operations.
ooh, wow. Okay, that's a
You
lot of
have
people.
10 people refuse to even interview for the position.
Oh, wow. All right.
You think maybe if one of those guys got hired, then maybe things would be a little different around here? I maybe a little bit because I still think that they would
I
have.
mean, your favorite team is the Yankees, so you don't really care, but
I don't know. I'm a baseball free agent right now. I'm kind of thinking maybe I should go to the Giants because my favorite player in baseball plays for the Giants now.
yeah. I mean, I missed out on getting him this year too, which normally I just try to draft him right before you're going to draft him. So
I have to resist not to draft him, you know?
I know, and that's why I know I always have a chance of getting him before you. So
Although, hey, this would have been the year to draft him since the whole problem with him is the errors, and now he's a DH, so he doesn't have errors.
I know, right? And
He's got third base eligibility. It's perfect.
he's actually playing pretty well too.
He's he's been in himself basically.
hmm
Now, in return, the Red Sox got a few decent players, but nothing earth-shattering. The thing is, though, they got the Giants to take the entirety of the contract.
Oh, really?
So the Red Sox aren't eating
That's
any.
actually okay. That's a really good deal then.
That's why you wouldn't get a Bryce Eldridge, who is the top prospect of the Giants, and I believe he's a first base prospect too, so
Yeah.
could have come in there and done some work eventually. I don't
Well,
think
hopefully, maybe the Mariners will actually spend some money and try to go after that because we could use someone at first
I
base.
don't think the
Yeah.
Giants are going to give up Bryce Eldridge, but
They're not, but stranger things have happened. Maybe Jerry will throw enough pitchers at the problem that it will work. So,
hey, I mean you can have Ron Washington teach the pitcher how to play first base because it's really really hard. And I just want to wish Ron, hopefully he recovers quickly from his medical issues because he's not going to managing anymore this season.
okay, yeah,
Result
thoughts and
of
prayers, yeah.
his issues. Yeah, Ron is a really, really talented, smart baseball guy who deserves better than to be the manager of the lowly Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, Los Angeles. So let me get back to who the players that the Red Sox got. They got reliever slash starter Jordan Hicks.
Hmm.
lefty Kyle Harrison, who was a young starting pitcher, and ironically, he was supposed to start the game the night that Devers was traded. He was
Oh,
he was going to be the starting pitcher of the San Francisco Giants against the Los Angeles Dodgers for Sunday Night
yep,
Baseball. And then I'm editing my other podcast and I'm hearing about the trade happen while I'm watching the game.
yeah.
And they're all like the Dodgers players are reacting to it as like, whoa. And then they talked to Clayton Kershaw, and he had no idea who any of the players and prospects were in this deal. So Kyle Harrison got demoted to AAA immediately upon
That's
losing.
why I was gonna ask if he immediately got sent down. Yeah.
And from what I have understand, they just wanted to work on a few things. They wanted to have him work on a few pitch things.
Hmm.
Um, if I remember right, Andrew Bailey was the former pitching coach of the San Francisco Giants prior to him joining with the Red Sox.
Yeah.
So what I wonder is if they potentially worked together back when he was there,
Gotcha.
or at least even as a rookie, maybe during like
Yeah.
some AAA or during spring training, they maybe worked on a few things.
Yeah.
100% sure, but
You would
but
think
he's
he could
supposed
take
to.
a Tanner Houck's spot at this point in
Well,
time,
what
honestly.
I've
So,
heard is that he's supposed to be starting a game next week. So
okay.
I think he's ready to go. Just don't know.
Well, we both know how much I love lefty pitching too. So,
Yes.
since I never get to watch it because Jerry and John Stanton expletive hate it. So,
So speaking of pitching, Shohei, he's pitching again too. Literally, they said he was
one
going to
inning at a
start the.
time. Bill him as a starter, one inning, and that's it. So,
Well, here's the thing, like I don't even think the Dodgers care all that much about getting him up to
no.
multiple innings.
Oh, absolutely not. They bill him as the starter, and then you show up to see if he'll actually pitch a starting load, and that's all they care about is the ticket sales and whatever. So,
Well, the thing is that they can't send him away on rehab starts because his bat's way too valuable in the lineup.
yeah,
And
and he didn't struggle, but he had a lot more traffic his first time out. But then his last time out, he pitched a perfect inning. So if he doesn't go two, then the jaded part of me says it's just a marketing ploy. So
here's why it's not a marketing ploy. Because as we've talked about before when we were doing our draft,
yeah,
you had to have 13 pitchers, you had to have 13 hitters.
yeah,
Shohei does not count against the 13 pitchers.
hmm,
So, realistically, the team views anything that they can get out of Shohei as like a win because he doesn't
yeah,
count against the pitchers on the roster.
makes sense.
So, in that way, they can just build him up slowly, knowing that he's helping the bullpen out, giving a few innings here and there.
Yeah, I always thought that role, his best role as a pitcher is not a starter, but a high leverage reliever. And I've
You know,
always thought that about him. So,
I do think that he could excel in that role, and maybe he evolves into that. I think part of the reason that they stick him to the starter is so that he has a routine
yeah.
and
And he can
more
sell tickets
predictable.
before the game. So,
He can sell tickets. He
I,
sells
I,
tickets just
I'm
as a
just
hitter, dude.
kidding. Hey, I'm just kidding. Okay. Don't get worked up.
I'm not worked up, man. Took an edible like a couple hours ago. I'm working down. I'm working down. Speaking of somebody who went down, our boy Chris Sale has a rib injury.
No, Chris, you were
Yeah,
doing so well.
yeah, and I feel like the Red Sox, they traded Chris Sale, I feel like, as a personal move. Like
Yeah,
they,
prematurely. And it was because someone must have not liked him in the front office or something. So,
Devers, was obviously a personal move too. They
yeah.
they basically sent him away because he had the meeting with John Henry, the owner, and Henry asked them to do it, and Rafi stood his ground and said no. So They basically decided at that point to do it, and conveniently enough, they got the trade 3 days before, 3 days before they would play the Giants in San Francisco, and literally announced the deal right after they swept the Yankees and got on a plane to Seattle because they went to Seattle
Yeah,
first and then went to San Francisco. So
yeah,
right as they go on a West Coast road trip, oh, we're trading Rafi.
makes sense.
Gets out of the city to save his family and all of that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, it's an interest. Yeah, it was just a very interesting way of doing it. And you're right. It's like much. It felt more personal than business, which, for lack of a better word, these teams are run like
Yeah.
businesses.
So Breslow here, he made the infinite wisdom move of trading for Vaughn Grissom, who has done nothing since since coming over, and the guys that he has signed for basically the same amount of money or more than what they would be paying Chris Sale for these two
Yeah,
years because they had like 20 million options on him
yeah,
for this year anyway, and I think they had him only at 20 million for the previous year. They adjusted the salaries of his deal earlier into the deal versus later.
gotcha.
And they could have had him win the National League Cy Young and be an effective pitcher and be an effective pitcher this year before he went down with his rib injury.
Yeah.
You could have had him, but they decided to sign Lucas Giolito and Walker Buehler.
Yeah, so Walker Bueller, I can kind of understand because his upside after watching him in the World Series was pretty high.
Yeah, the
And
owner got seduced by a couple of good games because he was horrible all of the regular season before that.
absolutely, yeah. And then, he went down and yeah, he had a terrible season before that, but then it looked like he had turned the corner in those couple of games. But the Giolito, I'm just kind of like, yeah, isn't he kind of a journeyman at this point in time, or am
At this
I?
point, yes. I mean, he's back.
Yeah,
He was a promising young player with the White Sox, had like one really, really good season. I think maybe like 2022, I believe. 2021, 2022, he was a really, really good ace level pitcher, and then he never really achieved that again. And right when he gets to Boston, he's signing a 1 year prove it deal. He gets the internal brace procedure, and then the Red Sox decide, oh, we're just going to give you 2 more years on top of that.
yeah. I just don't. Yeah, the Walker Buehler,
Walker
Walker
Buehler was a
Buehler.
1 year,
Yeah,
$22 million contract. So
that I understand. Giolito, I don't understand. And like, you know, with teams and going out and getting players, and this is my one beef with the Mariners is like you're gonna go out and get someone and he's gonna disappoint you at some point in time. Like it's just gonna happen in baseball. It's not gonna work out and you're gonna spend money and you're gonna think it's a waste, but that doesn't mean you go out and that doesn't mean that you don't ever do it again, which is like what the Mariners it seems like that's their strategy is we got burned a couple of times in the past, so we're never gonna go out and spend money on anyone again. And it's like that's not how you win games though. So
well, the Rays seem to think you can win games by putting two nickels together and praying.
because you can if you're the Rays. And what's the trade tree that you sent me?
I sent you the Delman Young trade tree.
Yes. And they're continuing to win off of that. So
Yes. Yes. If you want to Google something and get down a bit of a rabbit hole,
oh, it's more than a rabbit hole. It is like a wormhole into another dimension. So
yeah. So the Rays made a trade for with a player named Delman Young, and they got an asset, and they keep getting more assets from the assets they got in that deal. And there's like a continuing tracker of like the amount of war of Delman Young versus all of the players that they got for him over the years. Guys including Chris Archer and Isak Paredes and Austin Meadows and uh,
Austin Meadows, I
Tyler
forgot about him.
Glasnow, Shane
Oh yeah.
Baz.
Tyler Glass now. That was the big one that I was super surprised by.
Yeah, they got so many players as a result of
And it's continuing. It's
And
still
it's
going.
continuing and continuing. It's the gift
And
of
that is
the
why they're
stuff.
second in the AL East right now, which I just looked up the other day, and I was like, the Tampa what?
Yeah, I mean, they're probably gonna have to play in Miami or something if they manage to make the playoffs. And
I mean, yeah, they're gonna have to share a stadium with someone. So they have more wins than the Mariners right now. My dad the other day was like, "Oh yeah, well, Mariners are." He's like, "You guys are first in the division." And I was like, "Dad, that was like last month. We're like 6 games behind the Astros, and if the playoffs started today, we'd be like 1.5 games out." He's like, "Oh, really?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Jerry only told us we get 85 wins, and we're at 41, and the Midsummer Classic is a month away. So,
well, this is a little off direction here, but the home run derby, they started to announce candidates for the competitors for the home run derby, and we got Ronald Acuna Jr. and Cal Raleigh.
oh, let's go, Cal. Well, isn't it supposed to ruin your swing?
Yeah.
That's why that baby Aaron Judge, who thinks he's a good player, didn't participate. So,
I think he's waiting for them to come back to New York.
yeah. Or he was just like, I didn't participate in the home run derby so I could drop a fly ball in center field so the Dodgers could win the World Series, which I respect that.
This
Didn't want to ruin his swing, just wanted to ruin his fielding. I can get that as an offensive player. Respect that, Aaron.
So, speaking of the Rays here, they actually just lost a game that they were leading 6-0.
Hmm. Against who?
The Orioles.
Ooh, the birds. The birds are starting to come back too.
The
So,
Orioles were trailing 6-0 before scoring 22 runs for the comeback win.
oh my. I guess I need to correction corner myself. The birds are the St. Louis Cardinals. So,
They're a different kind
or
of bird.
yeah, the Oreos. 22 runs. Are you serious? In how many
Bird,
innings?
bird, bird, bird's the word.
Burr, burr, burr. Burr, burr, it's a word.
So like the big one was the eighth inning where they scored seven, but those were the last seven.
Oh, okay.
It
When
was
did they start scoring runs? I guess is my
they
question.
they were down 6-0 in the bottom of the second inning. Then they scored 4 runs in the
Oh, okay,
second,
so
one in the third.
22 runs from the bottom of the second to the end of the game.
To
That's a
the eighth,
lot.
the bottom of the eighth inning because they were at home, so they didn't play the ninth inning.
Oh, jeez.
So it was only eight innings, and the only other inning they didn't score anything was the fourth inning.
Oh my gosh. So, okay, so
It was
not the
four,
first, the
four in the second.
second, not the ninth, so seventh, and then they didn't score in the first.
Yeah,
So that means in 5 innings they scored 22 runs.
6 innings, 6 innings. So
Six.
it was four in the second, one in the third, zero in the fourth, three in the fifth and the sixth, four in the seventh, and then seven in the eighth.
That's
Word.
honestly that's impressive. So,
Let's see who did the big damage today. Oh, Gary Sanchez had a home run and four RBI. Kobe Mayo had a home run and four RBI. Cedric Mullins had three RBI. Jackson
man,
Holiday and Gunnar Henderson hit home runs as well.
let's go, Gunner.
I had Jonathan Aranda who hit a home run in that game as well. Speaking of leagues, though, we before we get to the end of the show, I got asked to join another fantasy baseball league. Can you believe that?
Yes, because you're kind of good at it.
Yeah, I am. The the ex-husband, the current husband, excuse me, of my ex-coworker. That's what
Yeah,
I'll
you
give
want to
my
be
ex.
careful about where you
Yeah,
throw
I
the
got the
X in
X's
that
in the wrong
sentence.
spot, but I don't think he listens to the show or knows about the show. So,
Well, let's
uh,
hope so.
well, I've never talked about it with him. So while I'm in Japan, I get like at 6 in the morning, I think it is, where I in Japan, I'm kind of up because my sleep schedule is all out of whack, and I was waking up like 6 o'clock every morning. I was in Japan, so I get a text message from him asking me if I want to join his league, and I know that he plays in like three different leagues.
hmm
and the manager that he wanted me to
Oh, so
take over.
he's one of those, huh?
He was actually in the inaugural season of this league, and he left
Yeah,
after that first season,
yeah,
which I don't blame him. I was that was the COVID year, and that was a mess. Like that was probably the
yeah. And
hardest.
that's Jeff's only win with the asterisk. So
Yes, yes, that was his only win. So we've known each other
Jeff,
and
you can only win in half a season if you're listening.
third of a season. So he had been trying to get me to join this league for a few years now, to try to get rid of one of the managers, get rid of the coworker's son, who used to also be in this league, but didn't really
Okay.
manage his team all that well.
Yeah.
Anywho, I got to take over this team, and I wasn't going to do it until I had the brilliant idea of creating a separate Yahoo account just to manage this team
Oh,
because
gotcha. There you go.
because
Yeah.
I'm a diva. I'm a diva in the best way possible.
Hmm.
So I'm a good person who wants to help out, but I also busted my butt to get the diamond on Yahoo, which is
Okay.
like the top 1% of fantasy baseball players
Yeah.
have that distinction. And the thing is, like, I knew I'd probably walk into a situation where I would likely lose most every week because you take over a team in a different format. You don't know any of the roster. You don't know any of the rules. It's like, do I really want to risk my diamond status on this?
Oh,
So,
yeah. I mean, to me, it's the internet, so it doesn't really mean anything. But if you work that hard to get it, though,
yeah.
it does seem like there's no turning back after that.
So I created my own little dummy account and I joined the league. We can talk about this for a little bit because this format is bonkers. It is just
Wait, are you Diamond in our league?
yes,
Oh, so there's two of you now.
yes, yeah.
Are you like
The new guy's a
are
higher
you
ranked player than me.
are you like billionaires? Should we just hate you because you're awful or
Hey, haters, haters. I don't remember what saying I was gonna say there.
I kind of put you on the spot there, so that's my bad.
So in this league that we're in here, that I'm in now, the
Also, you said yes because when I talked to you, you were still
I
deciding.
wasn't going to, but then I came up with right before I went to bed. I literally
Yeah.
came up with the idea of creating another email address and then just using that.
Okay. All right.
So that's what I did. And then Yahoo, my phone's coordinated enough to allow me to be able to use both logins and save the password information. So I can just switch from account to account on my phone and not have to really have any issues when I'm out and about because I
Yeah.
thought I could only manage this team at home. I have a
Yeah.
separate browser set up just for this thing, so I can look
Yeah.
at it and manage my team and not have to log back in and everything.
Well, better do it in incognito mode so your other team doesn't check your browser history and find out.
Well,
So
no, it's like two separate settings.
that was a joke, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm bad at picking up the jokes tonight. I'm actually playing the ex-coworker this week, midway through the week.
I hope you crush them under the weight of your
I am.
baseball knowledge.
Well, the problem is that these guys gave me a bunch of bad pitchers, and we can get into the format of this issue here.
Yeah.
Well, let's go through the scoring categories here.
Uh-huh.
So for the offensive side, it is a 10 by 10 league. So for offense, you have runs, hits, doubles, home runs, RBI, stolen bases, walks, strikeouts, average, and then OPS.
Oh, so much better than our league, right?
No, not even close. Our league is
Oh man,
great.
I thought I could coax a baseball hit or something out of you right now.
No, this is just so. What comes to mind when you hear some of those categories?
Why and how and do you even like sports? So
Just this having doubles just seems very strange, and having walks.
it seems strange. You have extra base hits. That's what that whole
I
category is for.
know you're like
If
penalizing
they had
anybody that's a
doubles,
triple.
if they had doubles and then triples, I would understand.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's only doubles, that's what extra base hits is for. So
Yeah. Yeah. And why do you have walks as an individual category?
honestly,
Like
that's an
freaking random.
interesting one. I honestly might want to explore that, but that's interesting. So
I don't understand it. It makes that one just seems kind of silly because then you got OPS, which counts for on base percentage. So you got the walks category.
oh, so they have walks and OPS.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And they have
Because we
average.
have OPB.
Yeah, we have on base percentage.
Oh, BP. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We instead
Okay.
of just having OPS, we have separate categories for on
Yeah.
base and slugging.
No. Yeah, I get how it works. Sorry, I must have misheard you. But yeah,
Okay.
so then it really doesn't make sense to have both of those.
But I think the pitching categories are quite frankly even stranger.
Oh, let's go.
First off, there's a 40 inning minimum requirement. I don't that part's fine. I don't think that's
Yeah.
so ours is 35, but 40 is kind of splitting hairs. Not most people usually get to a 40 in our league anyway.
Yeah, but we should still leave it at 35 and get rid of quality starts. But that's just me. So.
We can talk about that in the off season, but there's not a lot of good pitching categories to just bring to replace that with, though. That's the problem.
That's true. Yeah.
So you have wins, losses, saves, hits, walks, strikeouts, ERA, whip, K per nine.
Wait, hold on. You have walks, period, and then whip?
You have okay, so you have wins, losses, saves, hits, home runs. I think I skipped home runs in there.
Oh, okay.
Walks, strikeouts, ERA, whip, and then K per nine. So number of Ks divided by nine.
Yeah, but I'm just confused because you have walks and then you have whip, which is walks and hits per inning.
And you
So
have hits and walks.
Yeah, sorry, I don't get I don't get it. So.
I don't get it either. What I know about this is that I think they don't want you
And also
scamming.
Ks through 9? Who does Ks through 9? Little League?
It's just little nerdy stats, I guess. I don't know.
Well, it's not really a nerdy stat because it's Ks to base on balls, and that's the only thing that really matters.
No,
Stat
that's what
wise
we have. That's
in
what we
baseball.
have. We're smart. We use that.
That's what I'm saying. Like Ks through 9 just means how many people you strike out in 9 innings. It's not how many people you walk, which is also really important. How many people you walk versus how many people you strike out is more important than how many people you just strike out in 9 innings.
Yeah, but they do have walks as an individual category here, so that's how they account for it.
But they also have whip, which is why it's also yeah.
I know there's a lot of duplicity in these numbers here. My only theory is that they don't want you going crazy with the pitching volume, so they try to create.
But then you also said that they have unlimited ads and drops.
Yes, I was getting to that. They have unlimited ad drops.
I keep jumping the gun right now, but
yeah,
I'm confused.
That's fine.
I'm confused right now.
Yeah, they have unlimited ads and drops per week. So there are like so many different players that are on waivers on a daily basis. It's really hard to keep track of it because they basically will cut a player if they need a roster spot on a Thursday if they're not playing. Like that's how a lot of these moves seem to be made.
Okay.
And like there are some weird players out there. Like Wyatt Langford got cut. Just
Okay.
I think he got hurt. I got a slight owie with his league. And he isn't even on the injured list or anything like that. He's just sitting day to day.
Dude, sometimes you just get some ouchies and you got to be traded. So
yeah. Or, see, I like the owie phrase that Taylor always talks about.
Yeah, owies. I'm an ouchies guy, but I accept owies. So
we can talk about my team here, my team that's in shambles, and here's what we got. At catcher I have Logan O'Hoppe. At first base, I have Rhys
Okay.
Hoskins.
I mean, that's not a bad. Those two aren't bad. So
Well, we'll get to the.
okay.
I have improved. This is after I have improved the roster.
Did you get Logan O'Hoppe and Rhys Hoskins?
No, I had those two players. Those are
Okay.
players. I'll let you know
Okay.
if it's a move that I made
Okay.
when
There
we
we
get
go.
to it.
All right.
And this is also a keeper league while we're here. And one
Okay.
of the first keepers is Nico Horner.
Okay. Was pretty good 2 years ago. So
They have Max Muncy from the Dodgers at third.
okay.
Francisco
Interesting.
Francisco Lindor, who was not a keeper, somehow.
How is Francisco Lindor not your just shortstop forever until he retires?
I
That's my
I
question.
I literally named my team. Why did no one keep Lindor?
Yeah. So
Because
I believe that he's one of
spoiler
the best.
alert.
He's been one of the best shortstops in the league for a while now, and not only that, in a
Yeah,
position that is basically based on defense, and you're lucky for the offense. That kid produces in October, just lives for the pressure.
I
So,
want you to just kind of keep in your head. I got three keepers on this team.
okay.
I'll let you know who the current keepers are.
And
But
Lindor's not one of them.
no.
Okay.
I want you to look at this team and think which three players would you probably want to keep on this team?
Okay.
Hypothetically. Just think
Okay. I'll try
or
to.
just
I'll wait till the end.
or
Yeah.
even just think, are any of these players worth keeping?
Okay. All right. Well,
Besides Lindor, we
Lindor
all
is.
know
So,
Lindor's okay.
yeah.
In the outfield, you have Michael Harris, TJ Friedl, Ian Happ. At the utility spot, you have Corey Seager. And these next four, well, actually, these next six hitters are people that I have picked up. Joe
Okay.
Adell, outfield, Bryson Stott, Jack Caglione, Jorge Polanco.
Hmm.
And then I have Austin Hayes sitting on the injured list who came back tonight, so I don't know if I'm going to keep him or not because
Yeah.
I have a
Which
roster.
everyone's injured list should be unlimited because in Major League Baseball, manipulating the injured list is how you succeed. But
Yeah,
whatever.
and we only have three injury list spots too.
Okay. Yeah. Not
Three
even four. Yeah.
for then this is a standard size roster, so even on like basic Yahoo leagues have four injury list spots.
Yeah.
Injury, I can't speak today.
It's
I
okay.
managed to get Shea Bangaliers.
Oh, let's go, baby.
Yeah,
Let's
he's
go.
supposed to be back. I'm guessing in the next few days, maybe like Monday or something they'll have him. But they're on the road right now,
Yeah.
and he did hit a home run in a rehab game on Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that next year is going to be his like breakout year.
He could
Me
break out in
personally,
the second half, man, because
yeah, he might. I
playing
mean, he
in
also might. Yeah, that's
playing in
true. So,
Sacramento, you've got a ton of potential for offensive explosion in the summer. I think we're gonna see some of that.
yeah, but it's also really hot in Sacramento too.
Well, that's what it is. And it's really hot. The ball goes out, and
Yeah, but
the nerds are
it's
like it
like
travels another
so.
9 feet because it's
Yeah, but it's also like so hot that it detracts. It's like the temperature where it gets to where you feel tired because it's so hot.
But then, Andrew McCutcheon's talking about how Rob Manfred's sending the balls and deadening them and causing more drag on it and that. So,
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, Rob Manfred is a different story. So he
Yeah.
should probably not be the commissioner of baseball. Sorry, Rod. Not sorry at all. Retired. So
Okay. So for the pitching side, I had Grant Holmes, Shane Baz, and I acquired Randy Rodriguez from the Giants.
okay.
Shelby Miller from the Diamondbacks.
Shelby.
I inherited Will Warren.
Yeah, Will Warren is someone I think you should keep, but that's just me, and I have him on my team, so I'm a pro Will Warren fan. He doesn't have the numbers he doesn't have the numbers that say he's a keeper, but his underlying predicted stats, whatever, blah blah blah, says that he's one of the best pitchers on that team, which is like
Well,
crazy that they
he
don't.
won the
They just
game
like never
today against.
score. Yeah,
He
they
won the
never
game.
score runs when he pitches. He's like the most unlucky pitcher. He's like Logan Gilbert last year. He's
Well,
probably
he
gonna
got three
wind up.
runs today against the Athletics and
Yeah,
got the
well,
win.
still got the win. So
I acquired Dylan Lee of the Braves and Calvin Fauché of the Marlins. The reasons I acquired most of those guys outside of Randy was because of the fact that it's a saves league and I literally have nobody who can get saves.
hmm.
The two closer guys that I had before were Jordan Romano and Alex Vesia.
Vesia makes sense. Romano, I've never even heard of. So
Jordan Romano was the former all-star closer of the Blue Jays. He was the
yeah,
guy who gave up all of those runs to the Mariners in the World Series, not the World Series, but in that playoff game we talked about, that they'll
yeah.
really come back, you know?
Did you say Will Warren shut out the Athletics or gave
Over
up 3
five
runs?
innings, they won 3-0.
Yeah, let's go, baby. Shut out the Athletics.
And
So
then I brought in David Peterson for a spot start today, so he's going to be gone. I had Luis Castillo.
I want to tell you who to pick up as a pitcher, but I want him for myself, and I'm not sure if I want to pick him up yet, so I'm not going to say anything. But maybe next week I'll say something. So
Okay.
yeah, because I don't
So
want you to pick him up in our league, and I know that you might, and I respect the fact that you would, and I respect you too much to tell you.
that's
So
fair. That's fair. I mean, if you can always pick them up yourself and then, have
yeah, but
them.
I'm not sure I want to, and I want if you pick him up without me prompting, then I can't be mad at you. But if I say something, then I'm gonna be mad at myself first and foremost, and then second of all, I'm gonna be mad at you for doing what you
If you're
should do.
talking about Jorge Lopez,
No, I'm not. Thank you. Thank God. That's where your mind went. So
if you're talking about Jorge Lopez, he's already taken in this league. Like
yeah, no, I know.
they
Yeah,
what
and
happened
you already
was,
took Jesus Lazardo too, so
yeah. So what
it's kind
happened
of
in this league was that they gave me the invite, I think, on like Monday, and I think it was Tuesday in Japan, but I think it was Monday.
yeah,
So they sent me the thing, and I hadn't committed to joining the league, but the guy sent me the email, the invite, and I wasn't gonna do it because it was linked to my Diamond ranked account, and I didn't have the idea for a couple more days. But
yeah,
this guy ended up doing, and I'm assuming it's the commissioner that did this, but it doesn't really say, is that he added a bunch of really, really, really bad players to my
yeah.
team to get innings because I already had innings by the time that I got there.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah. So they added like a bunch of players. Let me go back to the
We
beginning
could
of the week.
probably you could probably get Mick Abel. I mean, I have him. He gives up home runs, and jury's still out on whether he's actually good or not, but he's got to be better than some of the people you got. So
Yeah,
that's
I
the
have to
that's
look
the
back,
Phillies
but
that's the Phillies call up. So
well, I got Chase Burns that I got to deal with. So
yeah,
they just
you
gave
got a couple of people that you can drop. So
I do have a couple
who
people
are
I can
the
drop.
who are the people who are the three keepers?
Okay. I didn't get to all the third keeper yet. That's another reason why
Yeah, okay,
we
all right,
got derailed on the pitching conversation because they gave me a bunch of like crappy pitchers. I had Chris
yeah,
Paddock on my team this week.
yeah.
I had Emerson
You got
Hancock.
who
They
knows?
just put these random guys in there, and I thought they rostered me like eight different pitchers. They made a bunch of moves, and before I took over the team, because this is a innings requirement thing, and this person wasn't making innings. So
Also, sabotage, the Dutch art of screwing with your own team. So,
yeah, they could have just let me try, but I don't know. They gave me a bunch of crappy players and the other play I managed to acquire Nick Lodolo,
okay.
But I had guys like Jeffrey Springs and I had Chris Paddock, Emerson Hancock, I had Charlie Morton at one point. Like they just
Oh,
gave me a bunch of
Morton. Yeah.
yeah. Morton here's a who, and
Yeah.
it's
Morton the Mortician. So
Morton here's a who because he's so old he's got tinnitus. And then I the other keeper is Blake Snell.
yeah, so I can't. I want to say I'm over it, but I'm not because I still have him on my team. And
Yeah.
I think that after the All-Star break, I honestly might even give him like a whole entire month after the All-Star break before I punt on his season.
And then the other player that I acquired, I have an NA spot in this league, so I picked up Emmett Sheehan,
Okay.
who is a strikeout maestro
Yeah,
with
it's
the
pretty
Dodgers.
pretty good.
So my three keepers are if I didn't say Corey Seager was the other keeper, if I didn't say who it was.
Yeah, that's I mean, I respect that choice honestly, but I don't know. So
So we have Nico Horner, Corey Seager, and Blake Snell as the keepers.
so all three, why did you choose those as
I didn't
keepers?
choose them. I inherited this team.
No, that's what I'm saying is
Oh,
like,
oh,
why
oh.
did the person before you choose those as
From
keepers?
what I
All
understand,
all
Dodgers
three of those
fan.
are questionable at best.
Dodgers fan is the person that was running this team before.
It's like when I inherited my team from the Angels fan, and I had to
Yeah.
deal with all of that. So,
Yes. So I have to deal with all of that from this team.
oh man, it's like it's kind of a bummer when they choose the crappy players off of like what could be. You could have just chosen the best players off the team if that's what you're doing, and
Yeah.
then you literally decided to not do that, and that's what makes it frustrating. I feel so.
Honestly, I'm struggling to come up with who as of my current roster I would keep besides Lindor. I
Lindor. Wait, do you have Jason Adam?
no,
Is
I
that
didn't.
still
No,
available?
no, I don't have Jason Adam. I think somebody
You,
has.
you have Brian Abreu?
No, I'm pretty.
Does someone else in your league have him?
Uh,
He's only 25% rostered.
Jason Adam is a free agent in this league,
Let's go, dude. That's
but he has no
number one.
saves though. But he has no saves.
Oh yeah, he's holds. I forget we do holds, and that's I convinced you to combine that category, and that's why I have that.
I honestly like that. Brian, both of those guys are
Yeah,
available, but none of those guys have saves. They're just really good bullpen
which
arm.
is the whole entire reason why I thought that category should be. You were the one who said you wanted to combine it, and I still maybe have feelings about it. I don't know. I don't know if I really have feelings about it anymore because I still get to have all my favorite players, and it goes to the same category.
I
But I like that it's more competitive now, is what I like about it. So in our league,
yes,
that
yes.
you combine them, and now it's like it's harder to win that category than it was when you just had like the three people got the three best starters in the league, and then those were the three people who won that category every week. So
All right, yeah, and we can look at the keepers situation too. Hold on. I can look at the keepers from every team. One team has Shohei Ohtani hitter, Bobby Witt Jr., and Jared Duran as their keepers.
oh, that makes sense.
Another team has Ellie, Gunnar Henderson, and Scooble Dooby Doo.
Is that person winning your league right now?
Hold on a second. I haven't really looked at the standings because I'm in dead last place. That team is in fourth place.
Okay. Fourth place with those players. Okay. That person doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah, this league is very weird about the moves that they do
Who's
because
in who? Okay. Tell me the first place player and who are their three keepers?
okay, hold on,
I'm so curious right now. You have
uh,
piqued my interest like a bear getting into a beehive wanting some honey.
okay, let's see. Oh, okay, so there's LV Blogger and LV Madam. Okay, so I was getting you mixed up. So Kyle Tucker, Trey Turner, Framber Valdez.
Okay, honestly, respectable. I respect that. I wouldn't go Trey Turner, but I'm assuming that's all they could get when they drafted. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So the next one they have, the other one of the other teams is Aaron Judge, Corbin Carroll, and Yamamoto.
that might okay. That's second place.
I'm not doing it by order of where they are, although it is second place coincidentally.
Okay, yeah, that's. I mean, that person's probably going to be in first place by the end of this year. So
Another one is Bryce Harper, Ronald Acuna Jr., and Garrett Cole.
ooh, let's go. So Garrett Cole, they're in. Hold on, they're in sixth place.
That's fifth place.
Yeah, can't win without good pitching. So that
Yeah,
makes
but
sense.
Garrett Cole's having Tommy John surgery, so he's not
Yeah.
playing at all this year.
Yeah. I again can't win without good pitching.
And I think that, yeah, I don't know when they have to decide on keepers, but the next team is Jordan Alvarez, Kyle Schwarber, Brent Rooker.
Yeah, Jordan Alvarez, waste. Kyle Schwarber, waste. Sorry to both of you guys. You're really good players. And Brent Rooker, maybe.
I think Kyle Schwarber is doing the best of those three this year, and Alvarez is the best
He's
player of the
doing the
three.
best.
But
Yeah, he's
they're
doing
very
the best.
similar players. And
That's
they're
yeah.
seventh place. We got the next
Which makes
one we
sense
have.
because they chose three of the same player and they're just all okay. So
Next one we have Julio Rodriguez, Royce Lewis, who is a free agent right now, and Jacob deGrom.
and they're in last place in your league.
No, I'm in last place.
Yeah,
I'm in
okay.
last place because nobody manages this team. So like,
So that
losing.
person who has that is the place right above you then.
Sixth place.
Really? Okay.
We got Juan
Would
Soto.
not have expected that. So
We got Juan Soto, Matt Olson, Tyler Glasnow.
okay, that's a respectable bunch. I mean, Tyler Glasnow maybe will never play more than 10 games ever the rest of his life, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
the other
So,
two are good.
yeah.
Where do you think they are in the standings? We change games mid flow. That's how we go, guys.
I know. I actually kind of love this. I've been kind of good at it, except for that last one. I totally
What do you
missed.
think? Where are they? Where are
I
you
think
there?
they're in fourth place.
They are in eighth place.
Oh, they're right above you. How many people are in
Well,
this
this is a
league?
12-team league. We only got a couple. We only got a couple more.
Oh, so sorry. I thought there was an 18 league. Okay.
No, our league, the Marty Cordova was originally eight
Yeah.
teams when it started. Maybe that's what you're thinking.
Well, now that I know it's 12 and I just guessed 8 and you're in last, give me the next one. I'm ready.
Mookie Betts, Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani pitcher.
Have I guessed first yet?
That is 10th place.
No. I asked if I had guessed first yet.
I thought we already went through the first place team.
We did.
We did.
So.
That's why.
And then
No.
you should have said yes, and then I would have maybe guessed something different, but who cares?
I'm tired. The final one, we got Ozzie Albies, O'Neill Cruz, Paul Skeens.
Well, I think that's 9th, right?
That is third.
Oh, I forgot. We got a high one too.
Yeah, I don't think we did the first one we did was
fourth place. That's like
place.
Yeah, that's
the first
that's
one we
right,
did
yeah.
was ninth place, the one that had Shohei Ohtani, Bobby Witt, and Jared Duran.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, you would think with some of those combinations. Oh, I think I skipped one. I did skip one. That's why. Yeah, I did skip one. One had Vladdy Jr., Ketel Marte, and Ryan Helsley.
5th place.
That one is 11th place.
Ketel Marte is still the best second baseman in baseball, but yeah, the rest of them are kind of struggling a little bit.
Yeah, and I remember Trout and About. That was
Trout and About.
Trout and Ohtani pitcher.
That should be a podcast in and of itself.
That's my ex-coworker's team, and I remember that she traded Vladdy Jr. for Mike Trout.
Really?
Because she's an Angels fan and wanted Trout.
Then I was stuck with that nerd who only plays 60 games a year. Love you, Trout. You figured it out, bro. Honestly, ton of respect to you and your family and the fact that you stayed in Anaheim your whole career, basically. And no, you're probably not going to do anything else. Sorry if that sounds harsh, but
No,
I respect how your baseball career has gone. And I honestly, I want to hate on it, but I think I might have done the same thing given put in the same situation.
Oh, okay. Hold on, hold on. I just went through and maybe I can see what team last year had Francisco Lindor. Hold on. Let me see
Oh,
if I
someone
can.
didn't keep Francisco Lindor last year? They let
That's
him go?
that's that's what I wanted to find out.
Wow.
Okay, so the team that had Ellie and Gunnar was the team that had Lindor.
And they let go of Lindor.
They kept Ellie over and they got rid of Lindor.
They kept Ellie over Lindor. So there's just all shortstops.
They must
So
have
does every
changed the number of keepers in this league because I see that they had five keepers and they went from five to three, it looks like.
so does everyone in this league just keep the same position or
They keep the same
I mean,
players. Yeah, I mean, that's what keepers are. You keep your player from
I
one.
know, but this
Yeah.
person literally had three shortstops. So
Well,
just you
they
can
had Ellie at third base last year.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
They had
Okay.
Marcus
Yeah.
Simeon and they had Gunnar and Francisco Lindor and they had Rafi and Devin Williams as the other keepers. Yeah,
Yeah. I'm
so
just I'm just confused a little
yeah,
bit.
this whole league is confusing. We've probably confused the crap out of the people listening to this show. So do you have any closing remarks? We've gone really long tonight.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh, I did pull up something that I thought was mind-boggling and Japanese related in the fact that high school baseball in Japan is apparently on the popularity of March Madness, and March Madness in the United States is college basketball. And I just want to read this quote. These nationwide tournaments enjoy widespread popularity, arguably equal to or greater than professional baseball. This is high school baseball, by the way. Qualifying tournaments are often televised locally, and each game of the final stage at Koshin is televised nationally
Yeah.
on NHK. The tournaments have become a national tradition, and large numbers of students and parents travel from hometowns to cheer for their local team. The popularity of these tournaments has been compared to the popularity of March Madness in the United States. And
And
that
that
to
and
me is crazy for high school baseball. How do we get there, America? How do we
we
get there?
we can talk about those tournaments in another session. We're running out of time here, but they did play those games at the Hanshin Tiger Stadium. That's where they
Yeah,
played the tournament,
that's
so it's there.
crazy to me. That's crazy. And also makes me warm my heart.
We will definitely need to talk about that in a future episode. I want you guys to have a safe and happy 4th of July. And on next week's show, it'll be a good time to do a recap of our team, how we're doing for the teams that we drafted.
Oh yeah, I'm probably losing,
So,
but fingers crossed.
yeah, see you guys next week.
Bye now.